Welcome back to Budget Lawns. Today, we're going to talk all about Spectracide's weed stop for lawns and how to see the best results on those pesky weeds that you just can't get rid of. So stay around. So if you've been following along over the last month or so, I've done quite a bit of videos on weed control, and you've seen the results that I've had with Spectracide's Weed Stop for Lawns products. Now, anyone who ever says that those products aren't any good must be doing it wrong. And today I'm going to tell you how I did it and saw such good results. Now, I kind of been debating whether or not I want to show you the before and after pictures here at the beginning of the video or make you wait until the end, but here's my thought process. If I show you the pictures now and you see how good the products worked, then I think you're more likely to stick around to get the tips on how to make sure you apply those products properly on your lawn. Because a lot of the people out there that don't see good results, I'm gonna be willing to bet that they're just not reading the label and they're not applying the product the right way. You can't just go to the big box store and buy these things and start spraying them all over your lawn and think it's gonna work. There's a little technique to it, and I'm gonna break that down for you today. But first, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Leave me a comment, thumbs up, all the fun stuff. You know, all that jazz that lets me know if you like what I'm doing here on Budget Lawns. And, you know, it really does make a difference in getting myself and other lawn care channels jazzed up enough or excited enough to keep putting this content out there for you. We hope you find it helpful. And today, I think you're going to find this one worth its weight in gold, I'll say. So let's get started. Now, let's start this conversation where you should start in your weed control process, and that is with the Pre-Emergent. Because if you do a good job with the Pre-Emergent and try to get those weeds before they even show up, you don't even have to mess with the post-emergent. So, we'll start with the Spectracide's Weed Stop for Lawns plus Crabgrass Preventer. Now, this product has pre-emergent and post-emergent qualities. So that means you can put it down to prevent weeds, or if you didn't get it down in time and you've got some, you can put it down to kill the weeds. Now, I've never used this to kill weeds. I've only used it as a pre-emergent. And that determines how you're going to apply the product to your lawn. Now, if you want to apply it as a pre-emergent, it doesn't matter whether the grass is wet like the bag says, or you know, whether you've got weeds actively growing or not. Just ignore that. For pre-emergent application, put it down when the yard is dry and follow the label on how much you should put down. But I will tell you, I go heavy on it, probably more than what the label says, but it's working, folks. I've done 3 applications of it, one last fall, one at the turn of this year, and then one for my spring pre-emergent. And my yard, for the first time in the spring, is relatively weed-free. So remember that. If you're using it for pre-emergent, put it down anytime. Just make sure you water it in so it gets watered down into the soil and creates that barrier to keep those weeds from coming up. Now, if you want to use it as a post-emergent, you really have to follow those instructions. I think it recommends like some dew or just lightly watering the lawn so the particles can stick to the weeds and help work better to kill the weeds. But ideally, you will prevent those weeds from even coming up by using it properly as a pre-emergent. So if I were to rate this product on a scale of 1 to 10 for pre-emergent application, I'm telling you folks, I'm giving it a strong 9, 9.5. Because before it, I really wasn't that big of a believer in pre-emergent. I thought I could just take care of things culturally and keep them out, but no matter how hard you work, you're still going to see weeds unless you apply a pre-emergent. And this product alone changed my mind on that, and I'm sold on it, and I'll keep using it. I think it's about $13 a bag at Lowe's. Super good stuff. So if you're in the market for just a big box store pre-emergent, I would go with this one. The active ingredient is dithiopyr. And trust me when I say you can't go wrong with it. Just apply it as I've explained. Okay, let's say you didn't get the pre-emergent down in time. You got busy, you forgot, whatever your excuse may be, and now you've got these weeds all on your lawn. Well, lucky for you, the same company, Spectracide, makes Spectracide's Weed Stop for Lawns plus Crabgrass Killer. Now, there are a lot of products out there like this by a lot of different brands, but I'll tell you why I chose this one in particular for post-emergent weed control. And that was for 2 reasons. 1, it has the Crabgrass Killer. And 2, this one, unlike the Bio Advanced, I think it is, which is really similar, this one has the yellow nutsedge active ingredient to help kill the yellow nutsedge, which it worked because I saw it firsthand. So I've got this product in 2 forms. I've got the concentrate so I can put it in a sprayer and spot treat, or even do a broadcast treatment with that if I'm feeling, overzealous. And I've also got it in the hose-in form for more of a big, wide-ranging broadcast treatment. Now, I will use it in the spray can around my flower beds and stuff so I don't get any drift on the flower beds and risk killing some of my plants and vegetation that I don't want to hurt. But otherwise, if you just have a big open area, you can't go wrong with the hose-in sprayer. Super easy to use, goes a long way. Just follow the label on those and you'll see great results. But I'm going to tell you this. I followed the label to a T in most areas. But what I will say with these weed killers is a lot of your success is seen in just the steps or the timing of it, okay? And you have to be patient with it. And the way I was patient with it is I knew that my yard was going to get just a little out of control for maybe a week and a half. Because I wasn't going to get to mow as much as I wanted to. So I could give those active ingredients, the 2,4-D and the quinclorac and the yellow nutsedge killer, time to really take hold of those weeds and kill them dead. So what I would do is I would get a mow in. And then I would let it grow for a couple days because you want those weeds to have as much leaf surface as possible for those killers to latch onto and really do their magic. So I would mow, and I'm checking the forecast during all this because I want it to be dry too, dry and hot. All right? So I would mow, I'd wait a couple days, make sure I've got no rain in the forecast, at least for 24 to 48 hours. And I want hot temperatures because those hot temperatures get those weeds really, really growing very vigorously. And as they're growing, they'll soak up more of that weed killer and they'll increase the chances of them dying. So mow, wait a couple days, put down your application, make sure you've got no rain for a couple days, and just let the weed killer work. Don't get too anxious. Don't think you've got to mow because that's your normal schedule. It'll be worth it in the end. You let that stuff work for a few days. Let it kill those plants down to the root, but not killing your grass. All right? And then I would actually wait somewhere around 4 or 5 days after the application to mow again. So where I was used to mowing every 2 or 3 days, I would only mow once during that 7 or 8 day period. But it would pay off. A lot of times you see people in the spring, they've got all those winter weeds and they want to go out and they want to just start killing them right away. I think a lot of people's problem in weed control is they just try to do it too soon. My first weed application in my Bermuda grass lawn typically wasn't until sometime in May, particularly because that's when the Bermuda grass is almost all the way out of dormancy. The temperatures have risen by then. I've got all my winter weeds still around because it hadn't got hot enough to kill those yet. And then I'm starting to see that baby crabgrass or some of those other summer weeds start to pop up. So instead of worrying about it when it's too cool and I'm not got that much active growth on the summer weeds yet, I'll wait a little bit, kind of in that transition period between spring and summer, so I can just knock them all out at once. And that's how I saw the most success, was waiting till everything was really, really growing and quickly. So when I sprayed that application, I got good absorption of the active ingredients in those products, and I increased my chances of killing those weeds the first time and not having to do a second application or spot treatment applications. All right, so let me recap that just so you kind of have an idea on what I'm talking about, if you thought I was kind of going all over the place there. 1, mow. Wait a couple days before you spray. And when you spray, make sure you don't have any rain for a couple days. And then just let it work. Don't mow again. Don't get too anxious. Don't be impatient. Just let the weed killer do its job. All right? And make sure it's hot out. You want everything to really be growing full steam ahead. That way you get the best results possible. Now, I know it says on the bottle, don't apply on a Bermuda grass lawn if it's like over 85 or something like that. Disclaimer here, don't listen to me on this. Listen to the bottle. You need to follow the bottle's instructions. But I have applied those well over 85 degrees into the 90-degree range. But one way I was able to get rid of that, get kind of past that, is I just made sure I did my application later in the day as the sun was going down. That way it didn't have to bear the brunt of that heat all day long with the full sunshine. The sun would be going down, it'd cool off overnight, but still warm enough for it to work properly. And I didn't overstress my Bermuda grass just too much, because you can do that with these products. I've seen it before in mine when I went a little heavy-handed. It's safe on the Bermuda grass, but it can stress it and it can discolor it at times, but it will all go back to normal as long as you just don't bleach it with it. You'll be just fine. But you can help with that by just doing it later in the day and not first thing in the morning. But I've found, again, don't listen to me on this because I don't want you to go too overboard, but I've found that going just a little bit overboard with both of these products, the pre-emergent and the post-emergent, I have seen better results both ways. So just like the first one, the pre-emergent, my score out of 10 on this post-emergent, same thing, a strong 9, 9.5. You've seen in my before and after results photos that my lawn, when I moved in this house a few years ago, was an absolute wreck. And these are the products that I took care of all my weed problems with, and I've got no reason to change. All right? It depends on when you buy these. You know, the pre-emergent $13 a bag. I'm getting the hose-in sprayer and the concentrate for nothing. I think I picked up the hose-in sprayer on some deal at Lowe's for like $5 a bottle. And you can get them towards the end of the season before, you know, the fall, where they put them on closeout and they're only a couple bucks. So for the price and the results, win-win both way, both of them, strong 9, 9.5 out of 10. I hope that if you see problems with weeds in your lawn, that you don't stress about it, you don't freak out, because trust me, they can all be taken care of. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the fun. And it's all worth it when you figure it out and get them out of your way. And then once you do that, it's kind of easy breezy from that point on. I don't even stress about it anymore. If I see a weed, I know that I can easily take care of it with the Spectracide Weed Stop for Lawns products. And no, this video is not sponsored. This is all just me giving you my opinion and some tips on how to properly apply it to see the absolute best results. All right? Jog my brain here, make sure I didn't forget something. I don't want to leave you without any important nuggets of information. But I think that's it. I really do. Oh, I did say, you can stress your Bermuda grass by putting it on there when it's just really, really too hot and overdoing it. You can also do that if you apply it when the grass is still real dormant. So that's another reason why I wait a little bit further into the spring right before summer so my Bermuda grasses come out of dormancy a little bit more. I don't want to slow that process down at all, if at all possible. All right, folks, that's it. That's everything you need to know. It should be for the season on how to control weeds in your lawn. This is like my third or fourth video on that. So if you haven't seen the others, backtrack a bit, go check those out. And again, don't forget to subscribe for all the latest do-it-yourself lawn tips on a budget right here on Budget Lawns. Thanks for watching.